The f***ing multiverse.
Man alive. Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four.
What the hell is this?
I'm asking myself the same question.
So I watched both Across the Spiderverse and The Flash, and I hope you guys watched it because, to be honest, there might be some slight spoilers here, but nothing story breaking. And at the point of releasing this video, it's already been about a month since things have been out in theaters. So, the multiverse, it's convoluted, time travel rules suck and are incoherent, often they really are at the will of the writer and what's convenient to a plot, and we have yet to really build a time machine in real life as a species, and I believe the science behind it has theoretically figured out how to travel forward in time, but not back. So there's no hard fast rules as to how any of this shit works. That being said, I think both Across the Spiderverse and The Flash have managed to figure out how these rules should work out in fiction at least. Because to be fair, I feel we need some hard fast rules, because whatever is going on in these comic book movies and shows are simply not working. Multiverse of Madness was all over the place, Zack Snyder's Justice League climax was messy. This is why DC is constantly rebooting itself ad nauseum with crisis after crisis, and to be fair, Marvel isn't that far behind. But the writers of these two movies have managed to not only make things work, but create a meme at the same time. So, let's go over how each of the set of rules that the movies have put together work, and then we can decide how to combine it to create a set of multiverse time travel rules for comics and comic book movies in general. Let's start with Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse. Spider-Man 2099 Miguel O'Hara states that the multiverse is like a giant spiderweb intersecting at certain points called canon events. These events need to happen, otherwise the universe will destabilize. In the movie, Miles enters the Indian Spider-Man's universe, where he saves Captain Singh, who happens to be the father of that universe's Spider-Man's girlfriend. While this seems great, apparently this was an event that needed to happen, as Miguel goes over the idea that in every Spider-Man universe where Spider-Man is close to a police captain, that police captain dies, similar to how every Peter Parker had to have their Uncle Ben pass away. This drives Miles to break free and try to stop his father from dying. While Miguel explained it nicely with some great visual graphics including images of Spider-Mans from movies, television shows, The Flash explains it in Bruce Wayne's kitchen. I don't think this one requires a spoiler because we know Barry finds the Michael Keaton version of Bruce in his manor as per the trailer. While exploring the manor, the two Barrys find Bruce in the kitchen cooking spaghetti. Barry explains that he just changed one thing, that it shouldn't have changed everything, which if we're going by Back to the Future logic, it makes sense.
Somewhere in the past, the timeline skewed into this tangent, creating an alternate 1985. Alternate to you, me, and Einstein.
Back to the Future tells us that when you change something in the past, you actually don't change the future, but rather create an alternate timeline or future at the point of change. Simple, effective. But going back to the idea of the multiverses, that doesn't account for inconsistencies when one character appears early in the timeline or a myriad of other crap that goes on. Bruce presents us with a bowl of spaghetti. Notice how the spaghetti is all over the place? Some strands are completely separate and far away, some cross over at certain points, and some are parallel and close to each other but never touch. This is how the multiverse works, at least in his kitchen. In certain instances, the timelines will be close to each other and very similar. They may even cross over at certain events, like let's say the death of Bruce's parents. And these may be consistent in many of these strands that cross over. But since every strand is different and curves differently, time may not run consistently in all these worlds, so events of the past and future may occur differently at different intervals. These crossover events cannot be changed, and if someone attempts to change it, it's, well, like putting sauce on a pasta. It gets really messy. So what have we learned? 1. That spaghetti can be a really powerful metaphor, and 2. That both these movies follow the structure of key points or canon events. Regardless of how the timeline is playing out, certain events must come to pass, otherwise it can lead to the destruction of the universe. similar to how Flashpoint Paradox plays out normally, where Barry's mother had to die because it led to the disintegration of the universe. But why are these rules important? We'll get to that in a second. If you like what you're seeing, hit the like button, and if you don't want to miss out on the next video, subscribe and hit the notification bell. But for now, let's get back to it. You ever heard your parents tell you that there's a rule for a reason? Mostly because someone did something stupid, like wearing slippers by the pool. Things like that. The reality is that there's so many television shows, movies, animated series, and comics, and we'd like to believe that it's all connected into one overall multiverse, and if these companies keep throwing out different rules, everything will be a mess. Well, more so than it is now. By combining these two sets of rules, we have a baseline for how all these stories can fit cleanly without any adjustment. The canon event idea makes it so that all these universes have certain characters that will go through certain series of events. Think how Kal-El lands on Earth. He could land in Kansas or in Russia, but him landing is a key event in most DC universes. There are instances of Kal-El not landing in certain universes or being killed, but he is replaced by a Superman-like figure. The new rule set makes it so stories that fall outside of the norm can still fit within the larger DC or Marvel universes, but don't have to tie in directly into them. Stories like Vertigo or the What If stories work within this realm. Also, television shows and movies that divert in thinking from how some events played out in the comic books can work within the larger scheme of things, making it easier to make fans of those projects feel more included, rather than the BS where some people will say X person is not a fan because they haven't read Y comic. Plus, having a united understanding of these rules will make it easier for audiences to follow if one project does not perfectly align with another. Truth be told, I think this works in general for most projects. Even Doctor Who has their own rules, using the idea of fixed points of time where things can't be changed and the universe will conform and make sure that event happens, irregardless of interference, which amounts to what happened in the Flash movie. So, I think these rules would really make things much easier for fans and creators alike. But that's it for me. What do you guys think though? Should we apply these rules to comic book movies and shows at large, or just leave it alone and ignore it and hope for the best? Let me know in the comments below. For now, and as always, take care and have an awesome day. For more on DC and how they could work things out in future movies, check these videos out right here.